So many of you might be thinking that the next Pokemon card set, Prismatic Evolutions, or Terastal Festival in Japanese, is going to be the next Evolving Skies, but let me tell you why that is not the case. So today I want to talk a little bit about the next set that is coming out here in Japan and the next set that is coming out in the West. So in Japan we have Terastal Festival coming out on December 6th, and basically this is a best of set of the best cards that have released so far in 2024. And what's interesting about this set is it's based around Eevee and Eevee-lutions, and we've already seen some cards on the channel. I'll put some of them up here. These look damn cool. But we also know that this set is going to have the release of some super rare and some secret art rare cards for all of these Eevee-lutions, which is a good thing, but it's also a problem. And in this video I want to talk about what a lot of people think this set is going to be, and I also want to talk about my predictions and trying to think logically why it is not going to be that. But let me start by being very clear, I am very excited for this set. There's going to be so many great cards in here, as well as lots of new arts for EX cards that have already released, as well as Pokeball and Master Ball variants of these cards. And that's kind of crazy. It's going to be a big set for collectors. But because it's the second year of the Scarlet and Violet era, we can assume that this is going to be the end of the terrestrial Pokemon mechanic. If we look back to 2021 with VMAX Climax, that was basically the end of VMAX Pokemon before they introduced V-Star Pokemon. So we can imagine that this is basically going to stop the terrestrial theme. And we also know that next year is going to be the release of trainer Pokemon. I am very excited for the Rocket Pokemon, and just having trainers come back, it's going to be such a cool mechanic. But anyway, I am way off topic. So why are we doing this video? Well, in the West a couple of weeks ago, we got the announcement of Prismatic Evolutions. So this is the Western equivalent for Terastal Festival. And this is releasing on January 17th, and the Pokemon Center has already sold out of all products of this. They actually sold out a couple of weeks ago. Basically, after release day, when they knew this was going to be an Eevee-lution set, they sold out like hotcakes. And it is crazy how quickly they went. But can you guess why this is happening? I think a big part of it is because it's Eevee, and because of Moonbreon. Yes, this elusive, lovely Moonbreon here. Evolving Skies, the set that this Moonbreon came out in, is one of the hardest sets to get hold of, and one of the more expensive sets, because when we go back to when this was released, this was around the COVID time where people could not go out and people were trying to find ways to get secondary income. And we saw a huge boom in Pokemon card collectors at this time. Or I want to say collectors, more resellers. But at this time, it was actually quite tough for the Pokemon Company to print to keep up with demand. And that led to an absolute ton of scalpers. There's still a lot of people out there that are trying to buy up all the stuff. I mean, we saw the other day on Reddit a post of people trying to buy Pokemon 151 tins. I think this is at a Walmart. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. I mean, just look at this, look at this. But the Pokemon Company could not keep up with the printing demand of this set, and everyone really wanted to get those Eevee-lutions. The challenge is that if we go back to the Sword and Shield era, the packs in those sets never really had like a guarantee of getting a good hit. If you look now at the Scarlet and Violet era, we can see that if you buy a 36 card pack bundle, like one of those boxes with 36 cards in it, you have a guarantee of getting about 10 plus hits, typically. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTubers out there, including Pokerev, and when he opens his boxes, he's getting about 13 or 14 hits on average. But back then, there was a guarantee of nothing, like almost nothing. That's why this set actually became Evolving Cries as its nickname, because people would be crying sad that they got no hits. But another reason why the Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes in particular have sold out so quickly is because they have that special Eevee promo. And for those of you that don't know, the Elite Trainer boxes usually have one promo in them if they're just the Elite Trainer box, but for the Pokemon Center exclusive, they have a second one with the Pokemon Center logo on it. So those are usually worth a little bit more. I think the Charmander from the Obsidian Flame set has jumped up in price recently because they are basically not making any more special Pokemon Center versions of it. So what's the problem? Well, basically, there isn't a problem at all. The Pokemon Company has ramped up production of products, they're able to print a lot more, we're even seeing reprints of some sets here in Japan and sets overseas, so there isn't really a lack of cards. But I think that collectors are in for a treat, and resellers, people that are trying to buy stuff for selling, are actually in for a surprise. So for collectors, good news, there's going to be a lot of prints of this set. There's basically going to be continuing printing for the next couple of years, so you will get your hands on this at some point, and you will be able to get those Eevee-lutions at a much cheaper price. I can predict that Umbreon is going to start high because of FOMO and people wanting to get it as soon as possible because of Pokemon investing. But I can see that these prices will drop significantly. If we take a look at the previous set, the Shiny Treasure EX that came out last year, those cards have dropped so much. Like, it is actually surprising how much they have dropped by. So I think for collectors, this is a great thing. You can get your hands on some good cards at the actual price. But for Pokemon card investors and resellers, this is probably not the set you think it's going to be. Because there is so much production, there is going to be a much higher chance of getting good cards. And if the hit rate is anything to go by from previous sets, there is a high chance that you're actually going to be able to get a lot of these cards quite easily. So please don't go thinking this is going to be like Evolving Skies, because I don't think it's going to be. The only way that I think that these prices are going to skyrocket if some people early on jump the price up of these cards at a ridiculous price. But even then, things like Iono in Japan and things like the Dendra card in Japan and Miriam, they have dropped significantly. You can now get those cards at a fraction of that price. But something interesting that has happened because of this, Evolving Skies has got more expensive. The Eevee-Lutions from Evolving Skies have got more expensive. The prices are actually starting to go up a bit. Even in Japan right now, the card resale shops that I often look in, they are jumping up in price quite a bit. But I think the cards in the next set that are going to be the most expensive are not the Eevee-Lutions. I think it's going to be the Master Ball cards, because collectors like to get full sets. I myself am still trying to work on my Master Ball collection from Pokemon 151, and that's still not actually going too well. But I can imagine people paying a premium to get Master Ball cards so that they can have every single one from that set. But I genuinely think for investors, this next set is not going to be like Evolving Skies. And the reality is, any set or any boxes that you buy, if they're sealed, once printing has stopped, once production has stopped of those cards, they're going to start going up anyway because there's now a limited amount in the economy. But if your goal is for a quick get-rich scheme, this is not the set for you. So, what is my final advice based on everything that we've talked about today? Firstly, don't fall into FOMO. It is so easy to have that fear of missing out, and it is so easy for you to then want to spend a lot more to get good cards. We've actually seen with Surging Sparks, a lot of people are paying a premium because they really want to get those Pikachu cards. I'm confident that they are going to go down in price as they keep releasing more and more and more of those cards. But basically, just be careful of FOMO. And if you can't find cards, don't worry. I have heard that places like Walmart and Walgreens are going to start limiting people on their purchases again. Basically, after they saw the Pokemon 151 tin fiasco, like that video that we looked at a little bit earlier, a lot of shops now are kind of rethinking their idea and rethinking their policy, and they're going to start selling them at a lot less quantity so that everybody can buy them. Of course, there's still going to be people out there buying up crates, which you just cannot stop as much as we want to. But basically, you will be able to get stuff, and there is going to be a continuing flow of cards coming out. And here in Japan, I'm still amazed because Terastal Festival is so easily pre-orderable. You can actually go to basically any shop and still pre-order up to, say, 5 boxes per person. It's kind of crazy, and it kind of makes me feel happy that people can now purchase these cards again. But I am genuinely curious to hear what are your thoughts on this. What do you think is going to happen with the next set? Do you think that prices are going to skyrocket? Do you think that there is going to be a lack of product? Do you think that you are going to easily get it? And do you think that you're going to get the cards that you want? I am so interested to hear what you are thinking, so please do let me know in the comments below. But guys, if you liked today's video, please do give us a like, please do consider subscribing. We are going to have an unboxing of Terastal Festival coming on release day, so make sure you come back for that. There is going to be tons of stuff coming at the end of this year. But I love you all, and I look forward to the next video. Alright, bye! Okay, I had to do so many retakes of this, and I hope that it actually came out okay. I've spent about 30 minutes filming. It's probably going to be a 10-minute video, but I am really, really curious to see your thoughts on this, so please do let me know down below.